Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. Terrence is out this week, but there is stuff to talk about. I wouldn't say plenty, but there is stuff to talk about. Again, for those folks who've sort of been in and out, the format of the show has changed a little bit just in wake of what's going on because there is a lack of movie news and TV news for obvious reasons. We're kind of doing like these little mini reviews of just movies that are streaming that are newly streaming or that we are catching up on just because we just didn't have time to watch them before. We are talking spoilers for those movies. And each week on the fan group, the nerdpocalypse.com/fans, we let everybody know what those movies are so you have a chance to watch them and where you can watch them. And so we're trying to pick we're generally trying to pick movies that are on Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon because most people have at least one or maybe even all three of those. And they're things that are available without having to rent, right? So that we can everybody doesn't have to pay any extra money. Get your cousin's, Hulu account or whatever. You can watch whatever movie it is and then you can kind of follow along. And then we have a little bit of news. Literally, we have 2 news stories this week. Maybe a third I might throw in. All right. So checked out this week, which is the big portion of the show. Micah, you watched Christine. This is not the movie about the killer car.
Yeah, this is not a movie about a killer car. I'm not going to watch a movie about a killer car. I am going to watch a movie about a news reporter who kills herself live on the air.
Oh, okay.
And it's based on a true story, based on the life of this woman named Christine Chubbuck, who in the 70s is a go-getting reporter, but she is a good, honest soul. And she's very interested in human interest stories. And as we all know, human interest stories don't get put on the news. Or they get put on the news and for 5 minutes at the end of the news, and then they get bumped. If it bleeds, it leads. That's pretty much the mantra of today's news media, right? So she has to come to grips with wanting to advance her career, but being morally sound, right? Not compromising her ideals. And she finds that it's very, very difficult to do that, especially when you are suffering from severe depression.
Oh, great.
And this movie stars Rebecca Hall, Michael C. Hall, Tracy Letts, and a bunch of other people that I don't really know. But it's really good.
Where is this available?
Netflix.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, this is really good. I don't really recall Rebecca Hall in anything else, so I don't have anything to compare her to.
Mm-hmm.
But she's been in a couple Woody Allen movies and stuff like that. But
oh, okay. I recognize her face.
Yeah, I do too. She has one of those faces where it's just it kind of looks like every other white woman you've ever seen before.
That is correct.
But yeah, this movie came out in 2016. It's really good, man. Really strong performances. It speaks on depression, man. And it is, I think the way Rebecca Hall was playing it, it wasn't full on bipolar,
mm-hmm.
right? Because people who are bipolar tend to be really happy and then really sad.
Right.
Where she was just kind of sullen throughout the movie because, she felt like no one was listening to her, no one was talking to her. And they have these scenes where she's in a children's hospital doing a puppet show. And you can see while she's performing for the kids, she is working out her emotions through those puppets. And it's heartbreaking, man. Depression is real, man.
It
really is. And you know what you don't get give someone who is depressed a gun.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
No, it's not. Part of her.
The vast majority of gun deaths in America is suicides.
Yeah. Part of her trying to advance her career, trying to do the whole "if it bleeds, it leads" thing. She's trying to find a middle ground. She's trying to find like at one point she finds a house or a trailer park that's been burned down, and her camera person is like, "Okay, so do you want me to get the smoldering flames?" And she's like, "No, zoom in on this guy's face, because this guy is the reason why this happened, and we got to get his testimonial. Zoom in on his face, right? I want to get the human interest story out of it."
Mm-hmm.
And she goes back and she's like, look what I did, boss. And boss is like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, where's the fire?
Right. Where's the fire? He basically said you should have shot the fire. That's what people want to see. Then they have this big blow up, and it really makes me feel bad, man, because it's like she obviously has friends, and the friends are obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but her friends, the ones that do pick up on that something might be wrong,
mm-hmm.
they're trying to help. And at one point, Michael C. Hall is, the lead anchor. And
of course he is.
Right.
Of course he is.
And she likes him, but she doesn't say anything. So, and he's oblivious, right? So he kind of wants there to be something there, but he kind of only sees it as a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
They go out on a date, and it turns out the date is a bit of an intervention because he is very concerned for his friend's health, right?
Oh boy.
But he surprises her by bringing her to this group therapy session that he goes to. It's like, because it works, right? And he's trying to help, but it makes me think about people with depression and like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Do you because I don't know about you. I'm a guy. I like to try to fix things, right? I don't like there to be conflict. That's why I'm all about communication. Like, we need to fucking talk about this before I go to bed, because I don't want to be sleeping on it. Like, I'm not a guy that sleeps on it, right? So I want to fix it, right? And she lives with her mom, and her mom she's trying, but she's like, well, I don't really, her mom doesn't know what to do. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. I mean, depression is an interesting thing, right? Because on one half you have like the sort of the external thing of like a person who seems like humdrum and almost incapable of help, right?
Right.
Like if you deal with people with depression, sometimes it's like, well, why don't you cheer up? And they're like, yeah, I don't want to cheer up. And like, that's not helping. And if you're not suffering from it, it's really hard to even, I think honestly,
you can't even fathom.
Yeah, you can't quite fathom it. Right. And even if you're trying to help and do your damnedest to understand, it's still, I think it's just largely foreign to you to feel the way people feel in those moments. Right. And, depression also takes on a lot of different forms. Like sometimes you can't even tell with certain people, and then other people, it seems much more obvious. And they can both be going through equally depressing states of their lives, right? Like I was pretty depressed for, I would argue, like a good 7 or 8 months, about a little over a year ago. Like I was, and I was just in like this, probably 2 years ago actually, but like just in like a general malaise. Like I wanted to kind of give up on doing the shows. I wanted to like all of it. Like I just had no interest. I did them, and like probably most people wouldn't be able to tell, but like the second we were done, I'm just kind of like, brr, brr, brr. Like the second, you turn it on as much as you can, and then you go back to normal. So yeah, it all takes like different forms and how you see the world. It's very hard. I mean, I am a believer of living better through chemistry if you can. Like if drugs can help you, then I think you should try. But that's not a solution for everybody. You can't afford it. Some people don't take to the medication. Some people are afraid to take the medication. Sometimes the side effects are negative.
Sometimes you just get addicted to it.
Yeah, I mean, like it can cause other things too, right? So I don't think that's a blanket answer. I don't believe anything is really a blanket answer for depression. Like get happy, nigga. Like that's not an answer. That don't work. So I think trying to find the root of what that depression is probably therapy is probably, I guess, the best answer I could give. But again, like that's an easy sell for me because I'm not going through it.
Right.
You know,
people just can't talk to people like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's hard. I don't know. This interests me. Like this movie interests me. It sounds sort of like it sounds like the same universe, but a different person's experience in Nightcrawler. The Jake Gyllenhaal movie?
Yeah. Because
he's like a sociopath.
Yeah. He's all about if it bleeds at least.
Right. He was just like anything to make it. Just anything to make it.
Yeah.
And this poor woman is like, ugh. Like she has a moral compass where Jake Gyllenhaal's character did not at all.
Right. Right. It's really good, man.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Good. I wholeheartedly recommend it.
Okay.
Tell anybody.
All right, there you go. All right, your pick this week though was Spenser Confidential, which is the big Netflix movie starring Marcus Wahlberg.
Yeah. Every Mark Wahlberg movie feels the same.
Bingo. That's exactly. Do you know who directed this?
Peter Berg.
Yeah, of course he did. Of course. Yeah, every Peter Berg movie feels the same.
Right.
Even when they're not starring Mark Wahlberg, they're Mark Wahlberg movies.
Right. Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, Mile 22, Spenser Confidential. They're all the same movie.
And those are all Mark Wahlberg, and I'm pretty sure those are all Peter Berg, right?
They're all the same movie.
Is Mark Wahlberg Peter Berg's muse? What a weird combo.
And here's the thing, right? Like, they're not like horrible movies.
No, they are not.
You just sit it on and watch it, and it's something that would come on TNT on a Saturday. You know what I mean?
Not just Saturday, every Saturday, forever. Right? Look, I also watched this movie. Look, it's an easy watch, man. It's an easy watch. I could have told you the villain 2 seconds into this movie.
I mean, come on.
The second that actor showed up, I was like, well, of course it is.
What's Evil Jay doing?
Yeah. Oh, it's Bokeem Woodbine. He's not even Evil Jay. He's me. He's me. As people have stated, if there's ever a TNP Studios movie made about our meteoric rise to fame, I personally would like Bokeem Woodbine to play me. I would call him. He would not answer. Look, it's not. It's fine. It's fine.
I don't even know what to say. Like, it's a movie that, like, it's a fine movie. If you are a 60-year-old white man, you're gonna love this movie.
Oh, down the fucking ballot, dude. It's got a demographic, man. It does.
It really does, man.
Yeah.
If you're a 60-year-old white center-left person, because he helps a lot of black people in this movie.
Oh, yeah. But they're black villains because it's Boston. Like, there's some black villains.
There's a couple black villains.
Yeah.
But, like, you got to balance that out with him working with M'Baku and helping avenge the name of his black friend by going to his black ass wife and their black ass child.
Right.
Okay, I gotta help you. I don't know why. She even asks him at one point. He's like, "Why are you doing this?" I don't know.
It's the right thing to do.
I'm not racist.
By the way, don't look up my past record about blinding an Asian man in Boston.
Also, like, are there that many black people in Boston that don't play for the Celtics?
There are a few, and I feel like all of them are in this movie. All of them.
I mean, I know. Yeah, there must be. Like,
I knew a woman, a black woman, who had a son who did grow up and currently still lives in Boston.
Like, it's like, I know they have that whole like
Racism thing?
Trail or whatever, but I just don't. I think Boston, and I don't see that many black people.
Nah. Look, I've been to Boston.
Yeah, I've been to Boston twice.
Yeah. I ain't see that many.
I don't remember a bunch of black people there, yeah.
Not where I was.
and we were going during the basketball playoffs.
Damn, you ain't seen no black people, man. If you ain't seen them during the playoffs, that's ridiculous.
So it's just weird seeing all these white people like cheer for the Celtics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That feels odd. Go Black. Go Blacks. Stay over there.
But yeah, Alan Arkin's in this movie for some reason.
But of course he is. Of course. Like, everything about this movie, everything that happens in this movie, I'm like, of course. Of course. Like, there's nothing surprising about the plot.
No.
There is nothing surprising about the acting. I think the acting is fine. Like, I'm not even mad at the acting.
It's fine, man.
I'm not mad at the direction. I'm not mad at the script. I'm not mad at anything. Because in order for me to be mad, it would have to invoke any level of emotion. And it does not. It's fine. And the funny thing is, okay, I will say this about Spenser Confidential. One, it did really well on Netflix, like, because everyone's home, right? And it's like a high quality movie, right? They spent like real money on it. And it looks good and everything else. And again, the acting, everything else is good. I would watch multiple Spenser Confidential movies.
Yeah, I mean,
like, not? Again, it doesn't take anything away from me.
I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it.
No. I'm not going to a theater.
Yeah, but if it's like, hey, let's watch a movie. I don't know, what's this? Like, I'll just flip it on and let it start, see where it goes, and all right,
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, if they go, hey, we're making a Man Named Hawk spinoff, that's fine. It's fine.
I even had a couple of lines that made me chuckle, right? Like when they're handing each other the artillery and shit.
Yeah.
And Hawk, Winston Duke, his name is Hawk. He reaches for the shotgun.
The sawed-off shotgun.
Right. And what's his name is like, hey, no, you don't get that. And you take this handgun. And Winston Duke was like, Hawk's the name of a guy who carries a shotgun. Spenser's the name of a guy who carries,
or does your taxes. Right. And Mark Wahlberg was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's not bad.
Hey, you got me. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and he takes the handgun. He's like, fuck it, you're right. There's some comedy moments that are pretty good. The fight scenes are like pretty good. It ends in the most Bostonian way possible, just two guys slugging it out.
Yeah, come on.
They had guns, and he's like, I'm gonna teach you how to fight. Like,
see, this is what I'm talking
all
about.
Right.
This is the fucking baby boomer's wet dream.
Yeah, it is.
That's how we used to do it in our day.
Just beat the shit out of the other guy.
We didn't need guns.
The other thing is, like,
some of my best friends are black people, just like this guy. But you can't trust them, just like that other black.
Right, exactly. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back every time. By the way, if you enjoyed Mark Wahlberg in Four Brothers, and we know that you did, he's playing the same character. He's just not saying the N-word. Like, that's it. Probably under his breath at some point, but that's it. Like, literally, the last fight scene is the same as the last fight scene in Four Brothers. They just fight it out. That's all it is.
A white guy fights a black guy for the sake of other black people.
Again, what is Mark Wahlberg's problem? Like, it is really fucking weird. But it works. Like, it
does, man. It's fine.
Mark Wahlberg and Winston Duke have pretty good chemistry. Again, the fight scenes were pretty good. Like, they're not like extraordinary or anything. I don't mean it to sound like that, but like, they're pretty good when he's fighting the cops in the bathroom and they beat the brakes off of him. Like, it was a pretty good fight. Like, yeah, I enjoyed it.
I'm looking at Peter Berg's filmography.
Oh God,
this ain't the worst.
Oh no, he did the one with Rihanna with the alien ship, Battleship.
Battleship.
Yeah.
Very Bad Things, The Rundown, Friday Night Lights, which is really good.
I've never seen it.
Hancock, Battleship, Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, Mile 22, Spenser Confidential. First of all, everything beyond Battleship is the same fucking movie.
Right, but I like that he was like, fuck it, I'm not working with anyone but Mark Wahlberg for like 9 years.
Right.
Is Peter Berg from Boston?
Peter Berg is from New York.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I would not have guessed that.
He went to school in Connecticut and in Minnesota.
He really likes Boston. Like, he really likes Boston.
Apparently he does.
Yeah,
this movie's fine. If you ain't got nothing to watch, if you're really, really tired of hearing people talk about Tiger King, like, I'm over it now, guys.
Yeah, we watch it. It's fine.
Yeah, throw this on. Who cares?
Can we talk? Okay, one small fact. One, everyone has heavy Southie Boston accents, right? Like, they do. Yeah. Spencer's girlfriend, played by Eliza Schlesinger.
Yeah.
I found her accent to be pitch perfect ridiculous, and I was here for it. The entire scene of them having sex in the bathroom was fucking hysterical to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as soon as I heard that scene and her talking in that voice in that scene, I was like, yo, she ain't from Boston.
No, not at all.
Because this is a parody.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, the whole line is she walks into the bathroom, locks the door, and she's like, he said something like, yeah, you look good. And she's like, yeah, I know I look good. You look good too. And then he like repeats it and she goes, yeah, what are you going to do about it? And then they fuck. Like, it's hilarious. And it's like kind of like hate fucking. It's just hilarious. Like, it's a hilarious scene. But again, wait, she had comedy specials? Was she a stand-up comedian?
She's a stand-up. And she has a fucking television show on Netflix, I think.
Oh,
yeah, she's a stand-up.
I haven't
heard her because when it comes to white woman stand-up, it's usually just a lot of like, look at my vag, I'm saying vag on stage.
Yeah,
edgy and vag, like just
there's been a couple of new young female stand-ups I think that have been white women specifically who've actually been pretty good. I keep seeing ads for that, like that Netflix one that seems pretty funny. I don't remember the woman's name.
I think I know who you're talking about. God, why can't I remember this white woman's name?
She's like young.
Yeah, and I think she's funny.
Yeah, she actually does like a lot of jokes about like, she's like, yo, I'm 25. Like, I don't want to get 30 and be old. Which, go fuck yourself, lady. But she actually seemed pretty funny. But yeah, she was on Last Comic Standing. That's where I recognize her face. Okay. But yeah, it's Spenser Confidential it's just like down the line, it's fine. Post Malone is in it, which is weird because he's in jail.
Playing a Nazi, dude.
Yeah, he's playing a white supremacist, which is weird. But Post Malone doesn't put on tattoos or anything to look like a guy in jail. That's what Post Malone actually looks like, which is weird. Okay? Like, it's never more obvious how weird he is than to know that he brought that look to the movie. He didn't dress up for the movie, which is fucking weird. Because all of his tattoos look like prison tats on his dumb face, which is, yeah, he's not going to regret that because, like, okay. When you're 70, all right, cool, man. You're going to look like an insane person, but I think you look crazy now. Don't get face tattoos. That's just my general thing. Don't do that.
I'm not a huge fan of tattoos.
Don't do anything from here and above. Just from your neck up. Don't.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't put like 69. Are you getting a free dinner? Hello.
Yes.
I'm getting,
man. Sugar cookies.
Oh, my wife bought cookies today too. I was like, yes.
Thank you.
You know what's funny? So my wife went to the grocery store today to pick up stuff. She just bought a turkey, like a whole ass turkey, because she made it. So it's done. She cooked a whole Thanksgiving. It's a 20-pound turkey. She was like, because she went to Giant and like they just were out of like a bunch of meat. She was like, they had plenty of turkey, so I just bought a fucking turkey. I was like, okay. She's like, we're gonna have turkey soup. We're gonna have like all these turkey-based meals. I was like, that's fine. Whatever. I like turkey.
That's fine. It's not gonna get old quick at all.
No, right. Just make a whole Thanksgiving dinner. It's like, fuck it. There's two and a half of us. Like, why not? All right. So from Spenser Confidential, Mikey, you watched Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge.
Yeah, I did. This is available digitally for purchase.
Sure. Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah, excellent.
This movie is once again another retelling of the first Mortal Kombat.
Why? How many times are we going to bang on the same story?
There are a couple of different things in it, right? Like if you know Mortal Kombat lore, like Jax loses his arm to Ermac in Mortal Kombat lore, but in this one he loses them to Goro, who just fucking pulls his arms off.
Okay.
And the thing with this film is that it's R-rated for violence and language, and they very much use that R rating to their advantage. This movie is violent as fuck.
This is animated though, right? This is not.
Yeah,
it's animated. Okay.
It's animated. I'll talk about the animation in a minute. But
okay.
This movie is like hyper violent. Like it's Mortal Kombat, and I get it, but like this movie is like hyper violent, right?
Well, somebody else in the fan group was like, "Yo, what is going on in this movie?" Like, even they were like, "Yo, it's a little much."
I mean, like,
and it's Mortal Kombat, like you said, like,
like someone snaps a child's neck in this movie. Like,
all right, all right. Everybody, take it easy.
Like, all right, I get it, right? I get it. This is Mortal Kombat, but like, wow.
Yeah, that's a little nuts. It's a little nuts.
It's not that bad because it's not like hyper realistic. You know, like the Mortal Kombat games, the gross out factors are the worst. I don't find them to be gross, but the gross out factors are the worst because everyone is rendered very realistically.
Well, I don't like when they kick each other in the balls and the testicles explode. I don't need that. Like, oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a retelling of the first Mortal Kombat. You know, with everything that people know about Mortal Kombat now,
sure.
Right? Like other characters who were introduced later in the games series, like Quan Chi. He's in this from the get-go, right? So
okay. Yeah, that's
so
different.
It's kind of the definitive retelling of the first Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
The animation is somewhere between Tartakovsky and anime. Like
I don't know what that first thing you named.
Tartakovsky is the guy who created Samurai Jack.
Okay, I don't like that animation style.
So everyone has hyper angular.
Yeah, I don't care for that style at all.
Yeah, if you don't like that style, you're not gonna like the way this looks.
Does it look as childish as that?
No, everyone is proportioned correctly.
Oh, okay,
but they just, I don't know. They have a weird style about them, a style that I would not attribute to Mortal Kombat. Like Google image this movie and you'll see some of these images. Like I'm looking at one, Sonya's got like this massive chin and this massive jaw, and Liu Kang has
that animation style's not that bad. Okay.
Yeah, right. Like it tries to go somewhere in between. You get used to it. I'm just not used to seeing it. Like the ninjas look cool because they're all covered up and shit. But like,
and I'm looking at pictures of like Johnny. I assume that's Johnny Cage and Liu Kang. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's not so bad. The ninjas definitely look really good though. I would agree.
The ninjas look really good. This movie stars Joel McHale
As who?
as Johnny Cage.
Okay, that makes. I was like, Sub-Zero? Scorpion? No. Okay. Yeah, Joel McHale plays as an arrogant dick. Yeah, shocking news.
You know what? Joel McHale's a pretty big dude.
Yeah, he's really tall.
He's really tall, and he's not like tall and thin. Right? Like he goes to the gym or whatever.
Yeah, not anymore. He used to be kind of a skinny guy, but yeah, he got kind of big.
He could. That's a bit of inspired casting if someone were to create a live action Mortal Kombat.
Really?
Joel McHale would be a pretty good Johnny Cage in my book. He
Wow.
does an okay job with this. Well, just because Joel McHale's like full of snark and shit.
Yeah, that feels right for the role.
He's okay at this. Jennifer Carpenter is Sonya Blade.
Hmm.
And then there are a bunch of people who, unless you follow voice actors, you might not recognize. But I mean, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, and you don't mind seeing the same story retold again,
Right.
or if you just get off on like violence, like for the sake of there being violence.
Yeah, I do.
There's a lot of decapitations.
How long is this?
This is a quick ass 80 minutes.
All right, rock and roll. Okay, now. All right.
Like, it's not. You can only stretch this story out so far.
Ah, shit. I feel like it. 60 minutes, dude. Like even 80 is feeling a little on edge. It definitely can't be more than 90 minutes. Like that's unacceptable.
It moves, man. It moves. So if you like Mortal Kombat, I like Mortal Kombat and its stupid ass story. Like when you take inventory of all of the, like there are a lot of characters and cameos from characters and shit.
Mm-hmm.
When you take inventory of all of the characters that you see once they get to the island in China, like you can really tell Mortal Kombat's 90s roots from like Big Trouble in Little China and like it's right there on full display. So if you are a fan of stuff like that, yeah, go ahead and watch this. It's not horrible.
Okay.
I wouldn't pay for it. But
right. But you did, obviously.
But I did.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah. There you go.
All right. I just watched the trailer. Yes, I will pay to rent that. Thank you. So then both of us watched The Art of Self-Defense. Speaking of chopsaki cinema. This is starring Jesse Eisenberg. This is billed, which I have a problem with, as a dark comedy. It's about a guy who gets assaulted. He's like a bit of a guy who's like kind of afraid of his own shadow kind of thing. He's Jesse Eisenberg. And he's out one night and he gets assaulted, and he's like a little awkward, right? Like just kind of a generally awkward person. And he's out one night and he gets attacked by this group of masked villains, and they just beat the shit out of him just cause. And then he wakes up in a hospital, and then he's at home for a couple of weeks, just on trying on recovery. And while he's home, he eventually passes by a karate dojo, and he joins that dojo because he thinks that can build like self-confidence and he can learn to defend himself. And then the movie just spirals completely out of control as he meets the head of the dojo, his sensei, who is an asshole. And you just kind of like the movie is like this sort of weird Fight Club-esque.
Yeah, it's Fight Club.
It is.
It's Fight Club.
It's Fight Club.
It's Fight Club,
but not good.
It's Fight Club, but with a happy ending. Like it's all about like this movie.
It has an ending.
It has an ending, and look,
and it's an interesting ending. Actually, I actually enjoy the ending. I don't know how much I enjoy the actual movie, to be honest. I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it, but I thought it was okay. Did you think it was a dark comedy?
When I think dark comedy, I think more. I think a dark comedy should have more comedic moments, more moments that make me laugh. Like whenever I think of
like a twisted sort of laughing.
Like when you think of dark comedy, my first go-to is the Cable Guy.
Yes.
The Cable Guy is hilarious.
Yes, it is. And it is absolutely a dark comedy.
Right. It's twisted, right? Dark comedies don't have to necessarily be like blood and guts and like relishing in it.
Right.
You know, thinking that's funny or whatever. But when I
Burn After Reading is a great dark comedy.
It's a great dark comedy. Yeah, it's a great dark comedy. This one, I mean, is Fight Club a dark comedy?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
No, it's not. It's just dark.
So I wouldn't necessarily classify this as a dark comedy, but this movie is basically when you get to the I don't know if I want to start with the ending. Like it's all about like hyper masculinity, right? And
it is. By the way, I called the ending, not the ending, but the reveal like super early.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was like,
why would they make a big deal about hiding people's faces if these weren't the people?
Right. I was like, oh, there's one short guy. There he is. Right. It was like it was pretty obvious.
Right, but it's all about like hyper masculinity, and in this, but it does it in a way that, which is what Fight Club is basically about, right?
Right.
It just doesn't do it as interesting as Fight Club. Now, I would have to imagine that if you are into martial arts and being instructed in martial arts in this particular way, in like a strip mall dojo,
right,
where people take things just a little bit too seriously, I would imagine that this is hitting you on a different level. But like the moments of hyper masculinity were amusing to me, right? Like remember the part where Sensei is talking to Casey, played by Jesse Eisenberg.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to Casey, and he's talking to him about Anna, and
who is another student,
right? Who is a woman, who is another student.
She's the only female student, by the way.
She's the only female student, and he acknowledges that she is the best, but. And I think this is a quote. He's like, yeah, it's a shame her being a woman prevents her from being a man.
Yeah. That was the only part I laughed at.
So I'm like, all right, I kind of like it's so, some of it is on the nose, but then some of it is just delivered so dry.
Yeah.
That it's just a little too dry.
Yeah. And there are moments where I'm kind of like, there's a little bit of genius here, and then there are other moments I'm like, this isn't as clever as you think it is. You know what I mean?
Because it's all about like the patriarchy, right? And in the end, Sensei represents the patriarchy, and Sensei whose real name is Leslie.
Of course it is, right? Like again,
like the patriarchy is so because that's the big insecurity, right? Like he's named after a woman, right?
Right.
And he has a traditionally woman's name, but in the end, the guy who wants to be a part of this hyper masculine patriarchy destroys the patriarchy
only to give it to a woman.
To give it to a woman, which is fine, but the woman didn't earn the right to the matriarchy, right? Like the woman had to be given the power from the new patriarch, right? Like
right, but she
feels her agency,
right? But it also, it's so funny. I find the analysis of the movie far more interesting than the movie. But there's also the aspect of she still represents the patriarchy, right? Like she she says in the end,
she's in this system now,
right? But she says like once she takes power, and we'll explain what we mean by that. But that she's like things are going to change, and you can be compassionate, and like she's giving out things that would be seen as being more feminine and things like that. But it's also under the guise of being like male, like very male centric brutality, right? Which isn't to say that women can't be brutal. And I think that's the point of her character. But it's just because it comes at such a late stage in the movie, it's hard to see that get righted. It feels like you're just adding her into the same system that's already fucked up.
She says that she's going to teach her beliefs of compassionate combat over ruthless aggression.
But that's not who her character is at all.
Yeah, because her character, she was a part of this system.
But she's the most ruthless one.
Right. She was the most ruthless one because she had to make it in this. But that's the commentary on how women have to be.
Right. They have to blend.
They have to be ruthless in order to make it into this world that is, built around them. Maybe now that she has power, she can change. She can, we don't know what her true feelings are. We get glimpses of it because she's like, oh, Casey, I really want you to get out of this thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Not for you. So I think she has I think she has the compassionate combat like in her, but we've never been allowed to see it.
Right.
And the movie ends before we could see it.
Right. Now, so where this all goes, this is obviously spoilers. Where this all goes is really interesting, right? He joins this dojo. He sort of is manipulated into becoming this sort of harder, more violent person. Like he ends up losing his job because he goes back to his job and his boss is like saying something to him that he doesn't like, and he just fucking karate punches him in the throat and immediately gets fired for obvious reasons. So once he's like working at the dojo as like an accountant for the sensei, Sensei Leslie. Once that happens, he is invited, I think even before this, he's invited to these night classes, which the day classes are like general karate training. The night classes are like a fucking mini fight club, right? Like they're just
Project Mayhem.
Yeah, they're Project Mayhem, right? Like they're just literally like full contact against each other. Now he's a yellow belt and everyone else is like a blue belt, I guess. Blue or brown belts.
Some are brown, one is black.
Right. And they're just beating the shit out of each other. And so then a series of events happens and basically Sensei had somebody kill his dog. And he fucking flips out when he finds out and figures it out. And so he challenges the sensei to a fight to the death with no weapons, right? And I'm like, yo, how is this going to work out? Because they have like a little fight at one point and the sensei just easily beats this Jesse Eisenberg character. And so they have the fight. And like the sensei steps onto the mat and Jesse Eisenberg steps on the mat and then Jesse Eisenberg pulls out a gun and shoots him right in the fucking head. And he goes over to him and he has a speech and he goes, I wanted to say two things. I forget what the first thing he says. But he's like, and the second thing is I wanted to quote a movie that said, I told you there were rules to this, but I lied. There are no rules or something like that. And so he was just like, and then he took his finger, puts it in the hole where he shot the guy in the head, and then tells all the other students that he punched a hole in the guy's head to kill him with one finger. And then they all were like, oh, wow, this guy's really good. And so they bow down to him. And then once he becomes head of the dojo, he passes that power to the female student, letting her be the head of the dojo. It's a really weird and surreal ending.
It's so,
and I'm fine with the ending actually, because it's actually amusing. But I certainly was like, "Whoa, what is going on?"
Well, if you remember, the Sensei Leslie they had a master, an Asian guy who had the
Right.
rainbow belt, right? Because he was all colors, like he knew everything, right?
That doesn't make any sense, but okay.
And he said that
Rainbow belt.
that Sensei taught him this one technique. Well, no, Sensei died from was killed by a gun. He said Sensei was killed by a gun, someone with a gun, but Sensei had this one technique where he would punch you with one finger in your head and you die.
Right.
Sensei fucking killed his master,
Right.
so that he could, take control and be the patriarch, right? Like
Right.
that's the implication that I read from it. And it comes back around on him, right? Like what's his name does the same thing, but instead of being the new man in charge, he passes it on. Like this movie has like you said, this movie has like bits of things that make it funny. Like the color system, the colored belt system.
Yes.
In karate, right? Like a bunch of insecure men, right? Like Jesse Eisenberg's character is really insecure. He only feels tough when he has his yellow belt, right? But
yeah, this whole series, I did laugh. I thought it was pretty funny.
You can't walk around with a karate belt on all the time. So
you can't. You can't. You're a coward.
So he goes out and he has belts, colored belts with buckles made for everyone, so that they too can go around and feel like big, strong men who have the symbols of their badassness and their manliness on at all times. Like it's like stuff like that I find amusing. Like this isn't a laugh out loud movie.
No, it's not.
But if you can pick up on some of this stuff, you might appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to hear Terrence's. Like he probably didn't watch it, and he ain't never gonna watch it.
Yeah, I don't see this as being his type of thing.
And no, I don't. Look, to be fair, I don't see this as being most people's type of thing.
No, and I picked it because I thought it would be. I thought it would be odd.
Yeah, I was like, I could tell Jay didn't watch this movie.
Oh, beforehand? No. But I thought it was okay. I wasn't blown away by it. But again, it's got some strokes of genius. Like it's got some pretty interesting things. I don't know that I would recommend it. I think there are definitely better dark comedies. I was just looking up some dark comedies that I've seen. I highly recommend, if you are not easily offended, I highly recommend Four Lions. Four Lions is about, as the logline, 4 incompetent British terrorists set out to train for and commit an act of terror. It's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. And it actually is really funny, but it's also about terrorism. So it's very dark. So it's good. It's good. And I won't spoil the ending because the ending is fucking everything. It's great. But Four Lions it was on Netflix for a long time. I don't know if it's still there, but that is a dark comedy of like, it is exactly what a dark comedy actually should be. All right, let's jump all the way down to the lightning round, Micah. You have one story. HBO Max orders Duster, Overlook, and Justice League Dark from J.J. Abrams. Word emerged earlier this year that one of the first projects to be developed under the multi-million-dollar deal between J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Productions and Warner Media would be something involving the characters who make up Justice League Dark, a superhero team consisting of DC's more occult characters, such as John Constantine, Deadman, Zatanna, Madame Xanadu, Shade, and The Changing Man. I only know 3 of them. Yeah, I don't know who The Changing Man is. I'm not a huge DC person, so.
I'm not a huge occult person.
Yeah, that sort of gets me. Yeah, that's where I kind of fall off when it comes to. I've done a little bit of reading of Justice League Dark, but not much, like just a few books, and that was a while ago. So,
yeah, HBO Max has given production commitments to 3 new high-octane 1-hour dramas from Bad Robot, which means they will start off great, they will continue to be good, and then they will not know how to end properly. The first is Duster, which will be co-written by J.J. Abrams and LaToya Morgan, set in the 70s. Southwest, the life of a gusty getaway driver for a growing crime syndicate goes from awful to wildly to stupidly to dangerously awful. Reach the official logline. Next up is Overlook, a horror thriller series, which is inspired by and will feature iconic characters from Stephen King's The Shining, because we don't want to get sued, as it explores the untold, terrifying stories of the most famous haunted hotel in American fiction. As far as the Justice League Dark series, not much is known about it at the moment, but HBO Max does say that more details will be revealed soon. Look, if it's HBO, it's at least going to be quality.
It's HBO Max. That does not mean it is HBO quality. That's just Warner Brothers. I mean, here's the thing. It probably will be fine. I mean, so there are 3 1-hour dramas. That's cool. Like, I'm cool with that. Look, when does HBO Max launch? May? Look, now is a good time as any.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, look, I'm not going to pretend like, I'm not going to get it, because I think it already comes with something that I already have.
Do you get this if you have HBO?
I think no, what I heard was if you have an HBO subscription, I think you do get it. I think, don't hold me to that, but I know it's supposed to be priced under the cost of HBO Now and HBO Go. So for me, like, I have HBO Now, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that and then just get this and then also have everything I have in HBO Now. So it's a win-win for me. Even if it's the same price, it's still a win-win for me because it's more content for the same price. But it's supposed to be less.
If it's done through Go is done through your subscription. So
yeah.
If you're going to get it through Go, then I can get it, which is fine. I just want to see the Green Lantern show.
Yeah. Look, I mean, here's my thing. I have a ton of things I want to watch. I mean, we talked about that before we even went on air. Like, I have a ton of things both of us want to watch. You just don't have time. So I just throw this on the pile of things I have not had any time to watch. So it's fine.
Speaking of HBO and things that I want to watch, Insecure came on.
Oh yeah,
premiered, and I know you haven't.
I'm not caught up.
Kept up, but it's a really good show, man. Like,
I enjoyed the first season a lot.
Like, I know you. I know you don't care for the commentary around.
No, y'all niggas get on my nerves.
Around Insecure, because people take it just a little bit too serious.
You do. You ruin it for people, man. You're ruining it.
I've seen tweets to Issa Rae. I'm talking about if Insecure isn't an hour long, I'm gonna be mad because she had a year and a half to do it, and she just responded, "Well, you better get some Advil." because fuck you, yo. Like,
if it's not an hour long, yo, they have contracts, yo. She can't just put an hour episode up and be like, here, and HBO's like, yeah, you got it. Like, that's not how it works. People don't know how businesses work at all. That's amazing, though.
No,
they really don't.
People just want what they want when they want it.
I love that. You better get Advil, because the show's only 30 minutes, right?
The show's only 30 minutes, and it's really good, man. It's really good. Like, this season starts off with we see Issa sitting there, and she's on the phone with somebody, we don't know who, and she says, "You know what? I don't really fuck with Molly like that anymore." And Molly's her best friend. Yeah,
I was gonna say she's the woman who's still a virgin at like 40 years old in reality, right?
Yeah, which
it's crazy.
Man, that's a lot of willpower, lady.
Get out of here.
But but yeah, and then at Tarantino's, right? Like it goes back 4 months to lead up to that point.
Yeah.
So we see them. We're going to see how they have their falling out, and yeah, man, I'm super jazzed for it because Molly has always been a trash bag person, like from season 1 on, right? Like Molly is the definition of this of the title of this show.
Yeah, I never liked her character in the first season.
You won't like her later on either, man. Like she's hyper successful, but she's always comparing herself to other people, and she's hyper insecure, which is the name of the show. Whereas everyone around her appears to be getting their life together. Finally, she is just kind of in the same place.
Yeah, like a virgin at 40.
And she's taking. I know a virgin at over 40.
Is it a man or a woman?
It's a woman.
How?
She's a lovely woman. I don't. It's just I don't know. She's a lovely woman.
She could get it if she wanted it, right? Like she's aware of this.
Yeah, she could.
Okay.
So I don't know if
Is it like a Jesus thing?
I don't know.
Is a Jesus thing? It has to be.
I don't know. She's a very nice person.
Yeah, that's what you say about a Jesus person. She's got a nice personality. All right.
It's really good though. I can't wait to see how the two of them have their falling out. Lawrence is back.
Of course he is. He's one of the best characters.
For all the shit that people give Lawrence, like still give Lawrence, like
yeah.
Lawrence is just a dude. He's just a dude in the show. And
people love to hate that character, yo.
They love to hate that guy. That guy has done.
Well, they hate that nigga in real life. He's like, yo, I'm an actor. Yo, relax.
But one of the big conflicts is Issa's character is working with another woman, and she really likes her. They're really vibing. They're really jiving, right? And it turns out the other woman is dating Lawrence.
Oh no!
And Issa finds out, and it's like, do you still stay friends with this person? Like, are you really over Lawrence? Like,
that's a good conundrum. I like that.
It is. So the show's really good, man. The show's really good, and I can't wait to.
All right, I got to get back into that. My wife and I were really digging that show a lot, actually.
Yeah, man, it's really, really good. Just stay off of Facebook.
Yeah, yo, like y'all ruin it, man. Like every week, I'm just like, oh, fuck off. I hate this dude. She's the worst. All women are like this. All men are like. I'm like, yo, it's a television show. Calm down. Just good Lord. We're just like taking out their own personal aggressions against fucking fictional characters. Like, relax.
The only other thing I've watched, because I forgot to mention these two earlier, Killing Eve is back.
Oh, I need to watch season 2.
Yeah, you do. All right, I won't say what happens at the end of season 2.
Yeah, please don't.
But there is a season 3, so
yeah. Spoiler alert.
So, yeah. I mean, look, it's back. Killing Eve is still a phenomenal show. It's the best Batman and Robin show there is.
It is. That's how I explain it to everybody. Like, it's exactly a Batman and Robin story.
Yeah. There's a couple of deaths in the first episode. One of them is pretty significant for the series. And yeah, it's back, man. I can't wait to watch fine ass Villanelle just murder people.
Yeah, I am more than okay with that, because that show is. I mean, it's really good. It's just really good. It does a really good job of not just telling that sort of Batman versus Joker story, but it does a really good job of making it female-centric in a way that isn't
girly.
Yeah, like basic. Yeah. Right? Like, that's probably the better way of saying it. It's just like they avoid just being like, oh, I'm a girl. And, like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but women are more complex than that. And they do a really good job of making them complex characters in a way that is actually really enjoyable to watch, proving that stories like Batman versus the Joker are kind of universal stories, right? And it's just, I mean, I don't think what's her name, Phoebe whatever Bridge. Yeah, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I don't think that she was like, ooh, let's make a Batman versus Joker story necessarily, but like those elements are so obvious, at least as a comic book reader, like they're really, really obvious to me. So, and I'm sure I'm not the first person, you are not the first people to make that observation, I'm sure. So it's a great show. So, all right, cool. You lucky bastard. So we're all over the place for nerd stuff. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Yes, that's right, everybody. I do play video games. I play one every year. I play one game a year.
How do you like it?
I like it a lot. I had forgotten that, like, because I don't like the last Final Fantasy game I played was like Final Fantasy X.
Yeah,
and not 10-2, which looked bad.
It played well, but it was very much a Charlie's Angels Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it was.
That doesn't do it for you then.
Well, that's not my problem with it. I just didn't think it looked good. And I think it's because I hated 10. Because 10 was the black dude that had the afro with the bird in it. Yeah. That's the last one I played. And I just remember being immediately annoyed by that game because look, this is a weird thing for me, but go back and play 10. And that
did.
Yeah. The problem with that game, I'm going to be a real dickhead. The walking is too loud. Like the walking noise is too loud. It's too loud.
Clop.
Yo, it's super loud in the beginning, yo. It drives me crazy. I was like, why is this turned up so loud? Yeah, look, I'm not wrong. I'm not. Go back and play 10, yo. You will notice it's unnecessary. Like it's unnecessarily loud. So that's the last full Final Fantasy game that I played. And I stopped caring. I forget who the main character was. I just didn't find her particularly interesting. I didn't find any people in the party interesting. I just didn't give a shit. But I forgot that it was all like real-time fighting. So when I'm playing 7, which is definitely not real-time, like the original isn't real-time, like the first battle, I was like, oh shit, it's in real-time. Like I had totally forgotten that. So that takes a little bit getting used to, just because my brain was sort of set on like real turn-based RPGs. But I like it. It looks awesome. I like that they're fleshing out the characters more. Like you were saying on Dense Pixels, like if you like the Midgar part, there's a lot of Midgar. I'm like, yo, none of this was in the game. Like this is like mad long. I think I'm in chapter 3 now. But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Chapter 4 is something totally new, right?
Oh, okay.
It is something that is in no way, shape, or form was in the original.
Yeah. I like the battle system. It takes me a little getting used to, because I feel like I have a tendency to like look at the screen and forget about what's happening down here.
Yeah.
Like the ATB bar and stuff like that. I'm not paying attention to it as much. I wish I could move it to the left. Yeah. Like I think maybe I'd probably have a better chance of noticing it. Where like in the original, it was just the whole bottom, so you couldn't like, and it was turn based, so like you had time to think. So, yeah, I realized like I'm not good at video games anymore. That's my main thing. Like I used to be really good at them. Or moderately good at them, but like I think I'm too dumb. Like I think I didn't keep up with how fast games got, and so now I'm like, what do the buttons do? Like I don't. Yeah, I feel like a moron. Like when I play these games.
That with sports video games, which is why I don't play them anymore. Like you like I remember the days of if you wanted to blitz someone, you just pick the same controller combination.
Right. Is that not what you do now?
No, now you hike a football and then you press a trigger and then all of a sudden all of the X's and O's and routes and all that shit come up and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
nah, see, it's too complicated. It becomes too complicated for me.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I think I haven't really played like a basketball video game since like NBA Jam, because I played some like NBA 2K something, and I was like, yo, this is way too complex. And that was probably when you just hit B to shoot. Yeah. Like it was just overly complex. I was like,
a pass.
Right. Like I was like, I'm out. This is too much. Like, when are they going to yell he's on fire? Like, that's all I need to know.
Did you ever get back to Spider-Man, or is that just a lost cause?
I didn't get back to it. And it's funny, like, I was enjoying it, but again, like, I feel like it's too complex. Like, it feels overly complex. Like, open world games. What's that?
You would really like the story in that game.
No, and I feel like that's probably true. Like, I always find, like, open world games really interest me until I start playing open world games. And then I'm like, it's just too many things going on. And I start to get, like, I get, like, overly stressed at the options. Like, do these 47 side quests. And I'm like, fuck, I want to do them. But I also don't feel like running 600 miles or whatever on a map to find this thing. And then, like, I can't find it. Then I start getting really fucking irritated. And I'm like, fuck this game. So yeah, I just don't have that sort of attention span anymore. I got really into like the Tomb Raider games because those are, they are open world, but they're not, like, they're really kind of very linear stories. And I can concentrate on, like, relatively easily. Yeah. So I'm far better at those kind of games. And I don't play any online shit. Fuck you. I don't want to be on your team. No, I don't need to get yelled at by a 13-year-old white boy from like Minnesota.
It's not fun. It's not fun. And I haven't been played like an online shooter for real in a very long time. And the last time I did, it was just a bunch of kids, man. Just a bunch of fucking kids just yelling and screaming. And
no,
that's why I only play with my friends, man. I don't want to hop into, or if I jump into a random, party, I take off my headset and all that shit, man.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I'm playing Destiny, an online only game. Nah, yo, just follow the guy.
Wow.
I ain't talking to nobody. If I don't know you for real, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah. Well, that good. That sounds about right.
Playing Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy got your ass back in the video.
I'm a gamer now. I'll be co-hosting all week. I'll be co-hosting all month for Dense Pixels. I'm ready now. Oh, shit. Yeah, no, but I am enjoying it. Like, I think it's good. The graphics are good. The one thing I have to say that I really like about the remake is two things. You can pause the game and you can skip all of the, like, let's reminisce for 3 days about skip. Don't care. Played the game multiple times before. If it's something new, I'll figure it out with context clues. Skip. Because that's the one thing Final Fantasy has a tendency to do. At least 7 did. Just bloated story, dude. Just super bloated story.
Yeah, well, what you think this is?
Right. So, I don't know. You guys had mentioned on Dense Pixels that the logical endpoint for the second, series or whatever is Eris's death. Yeah, that seems about right.
I mean, it should be. Quite frankly, I'd have put this game out with that being the ending of this first game. But if you want a dark middle chapter, like, that's because that's how 3-act movies generally go. Mm-hmm. The second chapter is usually the best, and it's usually something grim, so that the third chapter or the third movie can be triumphant. You know? Have Eris' death being in that. I still have, played the game for 12 hours and still haven't met her yet.
Well, you meet her.
You meet her. She's not in my party.
Yeah, she's not in your party yet.
I haven't fallen through the church.
Right, that whole sequence.
And, yeah, I haven't met the Turks yet. You know what
I mean? Oh, that's right, the Turks.
So
yeah, I'm very interested to see. I don't know why can't they why do they have to streamline the game? Like, why can't you just do a remake of the whole thing? That's an argument you guys keep making. I'm just confused as to why you say that.
I think I think they have to streamline the whole game. Are you saying why?
Yeah, why do you think they have to?
I feel like the openness once you get out of Midgar, if you're going to keep this level of quality, I feel like if you were going to do this game, you know how like the Sector 7 slums, it's not really an open world, it's an area.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's going to happen, but it's going to have to be very condensed. Like there's another game called The Outer Worlds where you go from planet to planet, you know, but you're not really going from planet to planet. You're going from one map to another map to another map, and it's a confined area. Right. I mean, maybe they can do it that way, right?
Okay. I mean, that works. It's just going to have to be, I guess it just has to be more of a linear story then.
Yeah. And
I mean, that's fine. Whatever.
That's fine. I'm very curious to see where this little Final Fantasy experiment is going.
Look, people didn't think it was ever going to happen. So.
Right.
And look, here's the thing. It seems to be incredibly successful.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, we always joked and saying that was, if Square ever was like on the verge of being, if they were ever in the red and on the verge of bankruptcy, that's their trump card. You just put out anything that says Final Fantasy VII on it, and that'll pull them out of whatever they're in.
100%.
So
look, I know you guys say 6 is great. If they did a remake like this for 6, would you buy it?
I would buy it 3 times over.
There you go. So
I love
that's. I mean, look, 7 is the one that got me into RPGs. Like it just did.
It's the one. Yeah, it's the one that got people in RPGs. It's the one that got people into gaming. You know, like it's
for a lot of people. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm never gonna deny the impact of that game, but most people who think Final Fantasy VII is the greatest is because they've never played Final Fantasy VI. I know I was one of them, and then Brad was like, yo, you should really play this.
Yeah, and I played part of 6. I played on an iPad.
No.
It wasn't good.
You can't do that. No.
Nah, it wasn't good. But that's not fair to the game. And I paid $15 for it, which was insane.
This is why you.
Oh, it should be $4, yo. Knock it off.
Charging people $15 for a game that came out 25 years ago, and
I paid it like an idiot.
And you're so did I. And you have virtual controls to play it. Like, get out of here, man.
No, but seriously though, 7, the original 7 out there.
It is.
Not gonna do it.
No, you can't play that game on virtual control.
Nah, you gotta have. I mean, it's turn based, so yeah, you kind of can, but no. I tried to play 6. It's not fun. It's actually really annoying. Because they don't do a good job in converting it. Like they just don't. Like I played games on the iPad or on the iPhone that use a virtual controller, and they're better because they're made for it.
Yeah.
All right. So my story, and that's the end of our mini episode of Dense Pixels. My story for movie and TV news this week. Netflix actually surpasses Disney with its like what it's worth, basically. Netflix stock extending its 3-day rally closed up 3.2% to $426.75 per share, which is nuts. Meanwhile, Disney was just that gave Netflix a current market capitalization at $187.3 billion, putting it just over Disney's $186.6 billion after the media conglomerate stock finished 2.5% down amid a broad market decline on Wednesday. So, yeah, just for a moment, Netflix was worth more than Disney. Yeah, that's not going to last, obviously. But it is interesting from a just COVID-19 perspective that so many people are watching Netflix. So many people are just home chilling. Like, that's crazy. Pivotal Research Group now expects Netflix to net 8.45 million new subscribers for the first quarter of 2020, which is crazy high. And it was forecast to only add 7 million. So it's 1.5 million more people likely joined than they previously thought. So that's pretty impressive. But just because everybody's home. Yeah. What else you got to do? You got nothing else going on. So you might as well watch Netflix. So
the only other thing you got to do is hop on Facebook and talk about and question whether or not this is America, and throw up some COVID-19 ain't a virus stories.
Hey, get your ass tossed the fuck out of our fan group. I believe I used the term "you disgust me." Yeah.
When you said where you work,
yeah,
I read that in your voice.
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, I work for. I know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah,
yeah. I write like I talk. Like you, if you know my voice, like if you heard these shows, I write exactly how I talk. Like I repeat things. I even wrote something. I wrote. What did I say? Like, you choose to be an ignoramus. And then my following sentence, I wrote in all capital letters, you choose to be an ignoramus. Yeah, that's how I speak. So, like, you know, I'm a man of my word. I'm true to form.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you ever read what I write and you're like, oh, what does Jay sound like? Just like that. Just like that. See? Yeah, don't talk about like anti-science talk with me. It makes me nuts. I cannot abide it. I cannot. Like, it drives me crazy. Ugh.
Cannot sanction this buffoonery.
No, I can't. And and from our people, like my patience is razor thin. Razor thin. Please stop. All right. Make sure you go to thenerdpocalypse.com/merch. Shirts still on sale. There's like a huge site-wide sale for TeePublic, I believe, right now for like 35%, maybe even more at this point. So make sure you do that. As I'm saying that might be weird just because, like, do you really want stuff shipped to you from other places? I don't know. That's up to you. But if you do, wash it.
Wipe it down.
Yeah, wipe it down, wash it, be safe.
We get packages in cardboard boxes. I take I take bleach and just wipe it down, and then maybe leave it in the garage for a day or something. You know?
Yeah, we just we bought some groceries that didn't need to come in the house right away, and it's cold outside anyway. We have this like metal tub, right? It's supposed to look like kind of like a horse trough that we kind of use for gardening. But it has handles on it. So we put like ice in it for like drinks and stuff for like parties. And we just put all of this stuff underneath and turned it upside down and just left it outside. Like, if an animal can get through steel, yeah, it deserves those chips. Like, it's just not that serious for us. So yeah, just like wipe the stuff down, or if it's closed, I would definitely especially wash it. Just as a side note, just be safe. All right, what the fuck brought to you by JTD. Micah, take it away.
Crazy cockroach challenge has probably white people taking selfies with roaches on their faces. We've seen some crazy internet challenges go by
England
for years. But the latest one takes the cake as the most disgusting of all. The cockroach challenge has people putting live cockroaches on their faces and taking a selfie and sharing it on social media. It's hard to say for sure how and when the cockroach challenge came to be. But according to several sources, the craziness began last month with Alex Aung, a young man from Myanmar.
Okay, Myanmar.
Posted a photo of himself with the large cockroach on his face.
Ew. I'm not even clicking that story. That's disgusting.
To his Facebook account, captioning it, "New challenge. Can you do this?" Yo, stop trying. Yeah.
No.
Stop trying to create shit, yo. Stop trying to create shit, especially when you are when you lack creativity. This lacks creativity.
Hey, I put a bug on my face. Can you do that? Challenge. Yeah, I could. I'm not going to.
Hey guys, here's a challenge. You put a pen on your head. See how long your pen can stay on your head. This is a challenge.
Penhead. Hashtag penhead challenge. Stupid. Shut up. You know, the funny thing is, so TikTok is really popular now. Mm-hmm. I hate it.
Yeah, I do too. I hate it. Any videos on Facebook, any of them. Like, I don't care who sends it to me. One of you guys can send me a video, unless it's got cheeks in it, I'm not watching it. And the cheeks got to be in the thumbnail too, by the way. Yeah,
I need to know right up front.
I need to know what I'm looking at. I don't watch it. Like, I don't watch people do stupid shit on Facebook. I don't watch fight videos. I don't watch any of that stuff.
Sometimes I watch those.
Nah, it's got to be it's got to be like somebody beating the shit out of. It's got to be a fat black woman beating the shit out of a skinny white woman.
Look. That's one of my favorite videos. Who you calling a nigga? She fucking punched that chick in the face. That video's hilarious. You really? Wow.
But I don't watch videos. I don't watch TikTok. TikTok just.
I don't.
I think that's just because I'm old. Right?
Yeah, I feel like that's where I am. People are like, "Hey, check out this new TikTok video." I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
And they're only like 10 seconds. I feel like I could be doing something better with those 10 seconds, even if it's just blinking. I feel like
that's my attitude. It's like it only takes 10 seconds. I'm like, so I'm gonna click on it. Like I have this mental like risk analysis. I'm like, so I'm gonna click on it. It's gonna take 7 seconds to load. Then it's gonna take 10 seconds to watch. I'm probably not gonna enjoy it. That's 17 seconds. I don't have that kind of time.
Look,
and then I go back to staring at paint dry, like I would rather.
This is what has come to for me, right? On Facebook, if you post a GIF in a comment, and I touch that GIF, and a window opens up,
I close it.
Yeah, I immediately close it.
Yeah, I'm not waiting on that.
I'm not waiting for your stupid ass GIF to load.
Yeah, no.
Just because you couldn't think of something more clever to say. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and look, I use GIFs all the time, but when they don't load properly and like you have to refresh, I get incredibly annoyed.
Yeah.
I get incredibly annoyed. I'm like, this is a good GIF. Just put it up. Like, just figure it out, Facebook. Just figure it out. TikTok, you're never going to see me or anything associated with this show on TikTok. Like, I don't give a fuck about that.
No.
I don't. Like, we have an Instagram account I almost never use.
Yeah.
Almost never use it. Like, it's just one of those things. I don't, they feel too self-serving sometimes for me. And like, I get it because it's content. I mean, this is self-serving, right? Like, I'm aware of that. But this feels like enough.
It's a very look at me thing.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I don't give a fuck. And it works for certain people if that's the exposure you want. I'm not judging. I'm just saying for me personally, I just don't care.
Look, if you're worth looking at, I'm gonna look at you. But if you ain't worth looking at,
yeah, like all the like dance challenges stuff, you will never see me do any of those things. Never.
Look, Demetrius does TikToks, right? They're fine, right? I'm not knocking him. He's got a brand that he's trying.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like if that's what you're doing, that's fine. It's just not for me.
Yeah, and I see, I've seen people like just doing dances and shit. Like, you can't dance. So what, you can't dance. I don't know. You're doing the little kicks, man. Get out of here.
I mean, I'm picking up on your pen challenge. I'm doing the phone head challenge now. All right, there it is. Everybody do it. Make sure you have a hashtag or whatever. How about the old man challenge? Leave me alone. That challenge.
Look,
Fuck off.
I'm very much aware of how old this makes us sound.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No,
There comes a point in your life where you just gotta accept the shit.
Right, and like some people would be like, "No, it's not because I'm old. It's because it's stupid." No, it's not that it's stupid. I'm old. Just that's it. Like,
I 100% get why people would want to.
Yeah, and I'm not even mad at you for doing it. I don't want to watch it.
Exactly.
That's it. Like I saw someone like I'm in a podcasting group, and just talk about like sort of technical stuff behind podcasting, and someone was like, "You don't need to have your podcast doesn't need to be 2 hours," like as a general statement, and people were like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, what are you talking about? Like, I prefer longer form content. Like, I actually really don't like trying to make everything fit into 12 seconds. Like, that's annoying to me.
I'm not going to listen to a 12-minute podcast.
No, I don't. Where people are like, yeah, that's what I want to listen to. I'm like, I actually like to hear conversations with people.
Right. I want to listen to a radio show.
Yeah. They're really popular. I don't know if you know that. Like, they're like 3-4 hours long.
Radio shows are 4, sometimes 5 hours long.
Right. Oh, nobody listens to that anymore. Actually, a lot of people do. Like, a lot. Yeah, like I listen to politics and like a lot. And like those shows are generally at a minimum an hour. At a minimum. So, and most of them are, hour and a half to 2 hours. So yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. Who cares? I'm just saying TikTok, it's not for me. It's just not. I'm not going to sign up for a TikTok account. And if I did, it would only be to spy on people and never post anything. That would be the only reason. And I don't think I need to do that. So there you go. My what the fuck story. Father of 4 dies during sex romp with married pregnant concubine inside container. Wow.
Italy.
Okay. That is not correct. Residents were shocked to the marrow as they to the marrow.
To the marrow.
That's
shocked to the shit inside of your bones.
Wow, what a very weird statement. Residents were shocked to the marrow as they woke up to discover a middle-aged man had died inside a container during a sex romp with his concubine. The deceased, identified as whatever, was found dead inside the container with the lady gasping for breath. The lady whose identity has yet to be ascertained was said to be pregnant for her husband, who is known to be deceased. This is a terribly written story.
Yeah, this sounds like something that came out of Africa.
That's exactly what.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no. Is it? Actually, wait. Where is that place? Yeah, it's in Nigeria. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 people fucking in a storage container apparently.
First of all, you said concubine, like.
Yeah, that's not a term used many places. That's true.
That's some old African shit. Like the African people say concubine.
That's a weird word. It gives off the feeling of an inanimate object.
Yeah.
Not a person. Yeah. AK, as he was fondly called, was said to own a 3-bedroom flat. Like, why is that in the story? Who cares if he owned a 3-bedroom flat? He was fucking a woman in a storage container, man. Like, and she was pregnant. Like, that's weird. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes Africa can be very strange.
Thumbs down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they're not spraying each other with motor oil in the face. Like, please stop doing that. Please stop. I'm surprised we haven't heard Pastor solves COVID-19 by making his practitioners drink motor oil or some other shenanigans. I'm surprised.
We have heard pastor who refused to follow social distancing rules has died.
Yeah, he was in Virginia.
Yeah.
He's on the front page of this website. God is larger than this dreaded virus. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm all for people believing in God, man. I do too. But like, we need people to use common sense.
Don't be fucking stupid.
You got to use the common sense that God gave you.
Not agree to disagree. Apparently, like, no, you don't. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Hey, don't go outside. Who said that? God. Nah, fuck that. I'm going out anyway. Oh man, I got sick. Oh, I died.
Really? Because God told me something different. Like, all right, like you're making a mockery of all that shit, of something that is, logically silly.
Deathly serious. Yeah. I mean, I feel sorry for that guy's family. Like, that sucks. But at the same time, like, it's real. Like, why do you think it's not real? Well, we found out. This guy thinks it's exomes or whatever in the Black on Black Cinema fan group, even though he didn't bother to read up what those are. Those are used to transmit medicine and not a virus or something to make you sick. But hey, it only takes a small Google search. But you know more than Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is a trained fucking scientist and physician. But whatever.
And where does he work? The government.
That made me so mad. I was like, what are you talking about? The vast majority of science in this country is either private corporations or the federal government. Do you know that? No, you don't. Shut up.
He looks like the type of nigga that just don't
read.
That just know shit and don't know nothing.
Right. Did you know that? How you know it's a virus? Nigga, all right. Just take your computer and throw it in the trash.
Well, what the fuck is it supposed to be then?
Like, people don't know how to argue either, by the way. You can't prove a negative, Stop doing that. I hate when people do that. It makes me insane. Prove God don't exist. I can't do that. That doesn't make sense. You prove that he does exist. No, I asked you first, though. All right. We're done. We're done. How to make Jay really angry. Don't believe in science. 100%. That just pisses me off. Yeah. There was a trailer for Capone, done by Josh Trank that came out this week. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't really know when it's even coming out. It's weird because they put out a cut and then Trank put out a cut. I would say go check it out. Check out Trank's cut. It is good. But it's starring Tom Hardy as Al Capone, which is interesting.
Josh Trank, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, it should.
Oh,
don't judge him.
Poor guy?
Yeah.
Nope. Watch it. Sorry.
It looks good. I'm not going to hold that guy's whole career to that movie.
That was my first movie of his that I saw. And
oh, you didn't see the other one he did? The fake Akira movie?
No, I did not.
That wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was actually pretty enjoyable.
I'll take your word for it.
You're not even going to watch that one?
No, I'm not going to watch it. And I'm not going to watch this. I'm tired of fucking white man gangster movies,
Yeah, but it's Capone. It's Capone going crazy. That's the best part. It's not the standard Capone movie. It's later in his life when he was fucking nuts.
Based on true events.
So it's 100% accurate. Well, no, it's because some of it's the machinations of his insane mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if this movie is phenomenal,
I will watch this movie. I will watch that.
I have no desire to. Well, that's because you're black, and black people just.
I love gangster movies.
Love Italian gangsters for some reason.
Well,
Italian gangsters hate your fucking.
No, that's actually not my reason. Thank you very much.
They hate your fucking eggplant guts.
They do.
They hate you.
They do. But no, what I was going to say is I'm watching it for Tom Hardy. That's what I'm watching. So I will watch it for that guy. That guy's a good actor. If that guy can impress me by sitting in a car for 2 hours and doing a movie, I'll see anything he does. Locke is still a movie that people should see. It is massively underrated. And it is stellar acting. And it is great storytelling with one guy talking to people on speakerphone. It's a damn good movie. Damn good movie. So there are some movies that we have chosen already. for next week. That list will probably expand. One, Rambo Last Blood is on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free, which is awesome. You can imagine it's not going to be good?
I cannot imagine that this movie is going to be good.
Agree to agree. It's not going to be good. It's going to be ridiculous. I can't wait. So there's that. And then what was it? Lighthouse. The Lighthouse, starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, is also on Amazon Prime as well. So you get a little bit of the Green Goblin and Batman hanging out together. That's supposed to be pretty twisted and weird. So I'm excited for that one. And then we'll see what the other ones are. We'll try to pick something on Netflix as well. But we will let you know. Also, this is just a quick aside. For folks who did watch, and Terrence is probably going to be listening at some point, so I will say this to him as well. For folks who did watch Manhunt Unabomber, which was excellent, starring oddly Sam Worthington and Paul Bettany as the Unabomber. There is another series that just got put on Netflix called Waco, starring Taylor Kitsch, about the David Koresh and the Branch Davidian compound. Apparently is very good too. So it's like 6 parts, and it's supposed to be kind of in that same vein as Manhunt Unabomber. So if you like Manhunt Unabomber, check out Waco. I'm going to try to check it out this week if I can, and maybe talk about it. All right. Any parting words there, Micah?
Brad and I think you want to do the next Member of the Golden Tongues taping.
Yeah, buddy.
I'll get your schedule, but that is coming very soon. It'll be us reviewing Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh, yes.
Which is a really fun movie.
Can't fucking wait.
It's a movie where Superman fucking takes his big ass arms and cocks them like he's about to fucking punch you.
That's a great fight scene, by the way.
It is.
It's a great fight scene.
And it'll be very, very fun to revisit that movie. I really dig that movie. So
all right,
be on the lookout for that.
There is a new, speaking of stuff that's going on, there is a new episode of Upstage Conversation. Carrie and Micah, you guys reviewed Little Shop of Horrors. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I did not finish it anyway, but I was really enjoying it, actually.
You ever see that movie?
No.
It's really good, man. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, I don't believe you. Black people have never seen this movie. But yeah, there's a new episode of Upstage Conversation. Check that out. I'll probably try to finish that tomorrow. I still haven't even finished your Beyond the Register episode. I have like another 15 minutes of that in premium as well. There's a new episode of Upstage Conversation out right now. Next week, there's a brand new, it's been in the bank, it is ready to go, episode of No Time to Bleed. So look forward to that one. Yeah, you remember what it is.
I remember what it is.
What a fucking movie. So that will be up next week as well as full episodes of Look Forward. Those are dropping, on Monday afternoons mostly at this point. So look forward to that as well. Amongst many other things, we're just trying to keep the premium content going and getting all that stuff out. And we will be back next week with another episode. So see you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.